I want to ask you something. Neanderthals survived ice ages for 300,000 years. They used fire. They buried their dead. They cared for the injured. And us? Around 60 to 70,000 years ago, we spread across Eurasia in a massive wave. Yet they disappeared. We remained. Do you think that was just a coincidence? Do you see the man in the image? This is a Neanderthal. His shoulders are twice the size of yours. His bones were broken many times and healed. His brain volume was almost the same as yours. And someone that strong vanished 40,000 years ago. So why are we still here? Now pause for a moment. You probably thought maybe we were smarter, or maybe we had better weapons. Partly true, but those answers shouldn't satisfy you, because Neanderthals also made tools. They controlled fire, they cared for each other. We've found bones of individuals who lost limbs yet survived. What do those bones tell us? Someone took care of them, someone fed them. That's not coincidence, that's care. And this is where the story starts to get interesting. Imagine a Neanderthal male. His shoulders are at least twice as wide as yours. His bones are so dense he may have survived the same fracture multiple times. His brain? Nearly identical to yours, sometimes even larger. But know this, brain size alone means nothing. A boxing glove can be big, but what matters is how you use it. Neanderthals lived in small groups, a few families, maybe 15 to 20 individuals. They had limited contact with others. Did that make them strong? No, it didn't destroy them alone, but it made them fragile. Imagine a wide river. It can survive floods and drought, but a narrow stream can dry up in a single summer. The Neanderthal gene pool was like that stream, strong but narrow, and anything narrow eventually exhausts itself. Now let me tell you something. Homo sapiens were physically weaker compared to Neanderthals. Thinner bones, less muscle mass, a body that tired faster. But we had something that changed everything. Networks, social networks, contact with different groups, sharing knowledge, trading with strangers. And what made this possible was language. Not just any language, but one that could carry ideas across distance. Stone tools found thousands of kilometers away in Homo sapiens camps prove this. We were circulating knowledge, and knowledge meant survival. And this is where the story shifts. While Neanderthals hunted in groups of 20, we may have coordinated in groups of 150 to 200. This isn't a certainty, but there's strong evidence that we built broader social networks. When one group developed a new hunting technique, it spread like fire, like an epidemic. Now picture this scene. Go back 40,000 years, a forested valley in Western Europe. A Neanderthal group is tracking a herd of bison. They've followed them for days. Their spears are short range, they need to get close. It takes courage, strength, and huge risk. 100 meters away, there's something else. A group of Homo sapiens. Their spears are longer, lighter. They can throw them from a distance. They strike before the bison escapes, then pull back. The risk of injury is much lower. So what happened? Both groups hunted the same prey, but one took slightly less risk, got injured slightly less, lost slightly fewer members, and that slightly over 10,000 years decided everything. Nature doesn't reward the brave, it rewards those who calculate. But stopping here would be wrong, because the extinction of Neanderthals wasn't caused by a single factor. It was a chain collapse. The climate changed, temperatures dropped, trade declined. As pressure increased, Neanderthal groups become smaller groups become more isolated. Isolation reduces genetic diversity, and a species with low genetic diversity becomes extremely vulnerable to disease. And right at that moment, we arrived. Maybe there wasn't a great war, maybe not even direct competition, maybe we were simply there, and that was enough. Studies conducted in 2024 analyzed Neanderthal DNA. They found that a group living in Siberia's Chagarskaya cave consisted of close relatives, father and daughter, cousins. And after one generation, who else was left? It wasn't a choice, there was no one else. The story of the Neanderthal known as Thorin tells the same thing. He lived isolated while other Neanderthals disappeared. His genes traced back to a population from 50,000 years earlier cut off from the rest of the world, alone, perhaps the last. This is a darkening story, but let me ask you something. Did Neanderthals really go extinct? Today, 2% to 4% of the DNA of Europeans and Asians comes from Neanderthals. They didn't vanish, they became part of us. In a way, you carry them within you. So maybe that's not the real question. The real question is, why do some beings survive, adapt, and move forward under certain conditions? The answer is not strength, not intelligence. The answer is connection, sharing, groups that support each other. Homo sapiens didn't dominate the world because they were the strongest. They did because they were the most connected. And this still applies today. Most people don't realize this. Neanderthals were strong, but few. We were weak, but many. Think about population growth, like a slow but unstoppable wave. Each generation, slightly more children. Each child, another chance at survival. Homo sapiens formed larger groups, more mating, more birds. When one group suffered losses, others replaced them. But for Neanderthals, every loss was significant because they were already few. This wasn't a war, it was a balance. They fought to survive. We multiplied. And sometimes nature preserves not the strongest but the fastest growing. It's hard to accept, but necessary. Not everything was planned. Sometimes history is not the result of perfect intelligence, but small coincidences. A climate shift suddenly intensifies. A herd changes direction. A river dries up and in that moment the earth symbolizes change. Homo sapiens were not always better, but sometimes they were luckier. In a more protected valley, in a region with more prey, in a group with fewer diseases. Neanderthals, on the other hand, often lived on the edge. Small groups, narrow territories. A single harsh winter could end everything. This is not a story of superiority. This is a story of small differences. And sometimes that difference is simply called luck. Before and after this video, I explore topics like this in much deeper and more fascinating ways. If you don't want to miss them, consider checking out the channel, liking the video, and subscribe.